Hi there and welcome to this short video review on the Saramonic VMic Pro. Now, quick disclaimer, Saramonic have sent me this mic free of charge, so I haven't paid for it, but they're not paying me to do this actual review, and all the opinions expressed are entirely my own. Now, that being said, I've been using the mic for a couple of days now, been doing quite a bit of testing with it, and what I thought would be useful is to put together a short video talking about how I found using it, comparing it to the likes of the VMic Pro from Rode and the Video Micro from Rode as well, and just talking about my overall experience using the Saramonic VMic Pro. So just beginning with the actual unit itself, it's a condenser microphone and it's a shotgun, so a very directional microphone. You can see the capsule there. It's of all metal construction, so it's very solid, has a little bit of weight to it. It has a rubber shock mount, which is once again pretty solid, and this is actually made of sort of like solid rubber, just to minimize any sort of knocks to sort of camera bodies that it will be mounted on. It has two AA batteries which go in the front, and it's got a nice little slot which opens up and closes very easily. I like that because the Rode VMic Pro is a great microphone, I really like it, but one of the pains that I have with it is the 9-volt battery. Trying to get that in and out and the battery door closed can be a real pain. So nice to see easy access to the battery. On the back of the mic we have all the controls, so we have the power and we get a nice little LED so we know that the microphone is on, which is always good. And that will change to red when your battery's low. You have the gain control, so you can set this from minus 10 dB to 0 dB or to plus 20. And using it with the Panasonic GH5 and GH4, even with the preamps on those cameras turned all the way down to minus 12, which is the lowest they go, I've only had to really set this to minus 10. It's a very sensitive microphone. It picks up even the smallest of sounds. So it's good to have those options. I haven't really found that I've needed to use them, but if you're filming something that's a very long way away and you really need to pick something up with that super directional shotgun sort of pattern, having those options there might be good as well. The other things you have is a low pass filter, so that is useful if you're, for example, filming and there's an air conditioning or something with a low rumble in the background. You can put that on and that will reduce the sort of sound that makes. And then you also have a button which enables plus 6 dB of high frequency gain, and this is more for enhancing dialogue. So if you're filming an interview, it boosts the vocal, makes the vocal sound a little bit warmer, a little bit richer. You can obviously do this in post, but if you're on a quick turnaround, having the ability to do it on the microphone is quite nice as well. Now, the actual connections of the mic are on the front, and you have two 3.5mm jacks here. One is to connect the supplied cable which comes with it, so you plug that in and then you plug the other end into the microphone port on your camera. Now, the other one is a monitor, so you can actually plug in headphones to the other jack and you can directly monitor what's going into the microphone. And actually that can be really useful. On the GH5 and the GH4, the headphone slot is positioned in a way that it restricts the articulating screen. And so every time I'm filming and I'm recording audio, I have to plug in my headphones to the camera, and that just restricts my screen. So actually having the ability to monitor audio on the microphone is really useful as well. So I really like that inclusion. So what I'll do now is I'll put the microphones on the camera and I'll do a little bit of dialogue with each of the microphones, and you can be the judge of how they sound. So this is recording on the Saramonic VMic Pro. I have got it set to minus 10 dB on the actual unit and minus 12 dB on the camera, which is a Panasonic GH5. I'm about 3.5 feet away from the microphone, which is mounted slightly above me, but is pointing pretty much directly towards my mouth. So once again, this is a test of the Saramonic VMic Pro. Okay, so this is the Saramonic VMic Pro again, and this is set now to 0 dB on the unit and still minus 12 dB on the camera. Nothing has changed in terms of position. I'm still about 3.5 feet away. I'm in a sort of studio setup, so I do have obviously a edit machine on in the background which has hard drives and fans. It's not particularly loud, but you may be picking up some of that sound as well. So this is the Rode VMic Pro. It's set to -10 dB on the unit and -12 dB on the camera. And I can see from the audio levels that they are definitely lower than the Saramonic VMic Pro set to -10 dB. So I'm going to put the Rode VMic Pro up to 0 dB and see what that sounds like. So this is the Rode VMic Pro now set to 0 dB on the microphone and -12 dB on the camera. Mounted at 3.5 feet away. Same position, slightly above, pointing directly towards my mouth. And obviously we have the edit machine on in the background, which has various fans. And this is what the Rode VMic Pro sounds like. This is the Rode VMic Pro. Now this doesn't have any controls on it at all, so it is obviously just set as it is. The GH5 is still set to -12 dB, and the distance is pretty much exactly the same, about 3.5 feet away. The angle is pointing slightly down directly towards my mouth. So hopefully those tests with the Saramonic VMic Pro and the two Rode mics were useful. I'd very much recommend listening to those with headphones on, just so you can compare the different mics and how they sound as closely as possible. So overall, I think the Saramonic VMic Pro is a nice microphone. It's certainly well built. The metal construction is very nice. The controls on the microphone on the back, to have that added level of control, is always nice. The control over the gain and the various filters that you can enable. The ability to monitor sound directly from the microphone is a really nice inclusion. The unit is obviously quite a bit bigger than the Rode mics, and it's a bit heavier as well. But the trade-off for that is that you're getting a longer shotgun capsule. It's a very sensitive microphone, and it's going to allow you to pick up very low sounds that are potentially a long way away with that added +20 dB of gain. So if getting very faint sounds, or you're filming in an environment where people or the sound is a long way away from you, a very directional shotgun microphone is going to be a benefit. Hopefully that's been useful. If you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't done already, please subscribe and I'll see you next time.